moment to be here and to experience tennis on a whole different level. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I feel like I've learned a lot being here. It's definitely one of those events that you're going to remember for a long time. It's great that Saudi is so proactive when it comes to professional tennis, and I'm really hoping they can continue developing the way they have been in the last couple of years. I hope this Six Kings Slam is going to be a promising event in the future and with a lot of heritage behind it.
Ciao. You were winning 6 times out of 9 versus Sinner. Then, of course, recently you have lost more than you won at the beginning. How do you explain it? It's because you improved a lot, or also because you had gone through some problems, physical problems and so on? Now you're number 24 instead of number 3.
Well, it doesn't help with my confidence being 24. It's not the same when I was 3. It's a very different tennis. It's a very different physical state. And I think it's common knowledge that I've been going through physical difficulties this year with a lot of injuries, a lot of discomfort. I'm not gonna get into it right now, but yeah, it's disturbing for me as a player because I never saw it coming, and I just have to deal with it now. It's part of my reality. So commenting on that, I think Jannik has become an incredible player over the years. We started playing when he was very young. I remember that I played him first time at the Biennale d'Italia in Foro Italico, and he was still very young at the time. And he's come a long way. I mean, he makes tennis proud. I mean, it's great what he has achieved so far, and he's one of the most difficult opponents in the world.
You have played both Sinner and Alcaraz. They are right now the top 2 players in the world. What do you see as a difference between them, and how do you see their future? They won 8 slams in the last 2 years. So do you see an easier future, or I mean, you forecast something as more chances to become number 1 than the other, or not? Or is deep? I know it's difficult to predict, but in your opinion, in terms of solidity, I mean,
I'm not going to comment on that because I'm not someone that is great with predictions. I can just tell you that we're going to see a lot of slams from both of them, and I'm pretty sure they're going to end up both with more than 10 slams at the end of their career.
Hi Stefano, sorry about today's loss. I want to ask you a question. What is the hardest part about being a tennis professional, other than the famous stuff like constant traveling?
What is the what?
I'm asking you, what is the hardest part about being a tennis professional that people don't really know about?
It's fun. Sometimes I miss home because I'm on the road a lot, and there's a lot of travel. There's a lot of switching hotels, living out of a luggage, out of a suitcase, and you know, lately in the last couple of years, I've started to become a more domesticated person. That's what I've come to realize. In my younger days, I didn't care so much. I was more solo, free spirit, didn't matter where I was. But lately, you know, you're starting to have a place, you have an apartment, you have a house. You start building your routines when you're not competing in a nice, healthy way, and you miss those routines because they're not as planned and not as in order when you're on the tour. It's a little bit more chaotic when you're on the tour, because sometimes you have to wake up, especially now that my ranking is 24, you have to wake up pretty early to play sometimes first match. Wasn't the case before, but it's something that you constantly have to adjust to and find ways around it. So this is something that I miss, the stability of everyday life, which I can't get on the tour.
Thank you.
Hard luck, Stefano. Jannik played very aggressively today. What made the difference, do you think? And what will you take from this match for the rest of your tournament?
I felt like he was a bit higher than me on certain occasions, and what I've noticed is that he was able to come up with winners in moments that I wasn't. For example, if I was to compare certain shots that he had and I had, which were kind of similar, he was able to generate a lot more winners, and shots that were unreturned from my side, and I wasn't able to do that as well. So this is something that I've paid attention today that made a difference. It made actually quite a significant difference because I kept working harder and more for my points, and he kept economizing and just worked whenever it was necessary. So that's something that I paid attention to. I felt like my returns were okay. I mean, I did lose a little bit of rhythm at some point, but I felt like I was able to start rallies and broke him twice, I believe. It was just a question of managing my serve better, and I don't know, I really did try hard. I mean, I did give everything that I had. I was smacking the ball sometimes unnecessarily hard because I felt like the ball wasn't penetrating throughout the court, and that was my biggest issue, my biggest challenge today.
Hello. First of all, welcome to Saudi Arabia. By the way, because you are special to me because I love Greece and I love the Socrates and the history of Greece. Anyway, as you mentioned, your highest rank it was 3. How long it take to be one of the top 5 in the tennis? Because you are capable of that.
I need a healthy body. I've been discussing this with my team. I need a healthy body to give myself more chances to maybe rebound and be back in the top 5. If I'm not going to be healthy, it's going to be a very difficult task for me to be at the top of my game again. This is the truth. This is the reality. I think everyone agrees with me. There isn't a single person that disagrees. And that has been the biggest concern in the last couple of months. My body has been not where I want it to be. Call it chronic overtraining, overuse, the demand of the tour. I don't know what it is. I wish I had an answer, but I've played a lot of things in my life, and my body is feeling it at this very moment. So I just wish I find ways at some point that I can maybe play 5 to 6 matches in a row, 4 to 5 matches in a row, and not feel pain after finishing a match. So far, it hasn't been the case. I feel pain after every single match that I finish almost this year, except January to maybe March. It was quite okay, I have to say. But ever since March passed, I've had a hard time.
When do you think you will be fit 100%? Because today,
This I don't know. I wish I knew that. I'm trying I'm working more than I ever worked in my life. I'm working more than my best year, which I would believe would be 2019, would be my peak year, the best breakthrough year that I had. I'm working more than that year. And that is crazy to me because I'm putting double the work of what I did back then. And it's part of what I need to do in order to maintain my body. I'm a bit in a fragile position, and I have to do extra stuff in order to protect my back. Certain things that have been, let's say, failing over the last couple of months. And that requires work. Without work, I won't be able to be fit and be out on the court to play.
Stefanos, sorry for your loss. You mentioned at the beginning of the press conference that this tournament is very high competitive and it's great for Saudi Arabia. I want to ask you about this tournament. Where do you see it? Where do you label it between all the ATP Tour in the year? It's not official, but we are seeing the competition in the court, and we are seeing your all of your players. You are playing very serious. So where do you label this tournament between all the ATP Tour?
It's one of the coolest tournaments of the year, and I gotta say, I was thinking about it earlier. Like, we don't get tournaments like this. It feels almost like a boxing match. Each one has his own locker room, and there are just 6 of us, and we're competing for one big prize. So it's unheard of in tennis, and it's quite promising.
Thank you, Steve.
Sorry, Stefanos.
Right.
I want to ask you a question. You think it was easier back in the day to be a tennis professional? You know, right now there is more advanced recovery, but on the mental side it gets hard and overwhelming with the amount of news you follow, social media, and everything.
Oh, thank God I don't do that actually. Good you mentioned that. I don't do any of that. I took a break 3 months ago. I started my detox phase, and I'm still on it. I don't do any social media. I have people doing those for me. I have a team of people that manage those. Couldn't be happier right now, honestly. detoxifying from that has been the best thing. It's quite tempting in this generation not to detoxify because, you know, it's something that all of your friends and all of your close people use. So it can be very tempting, but it's more about the discipline in my opinion, and I've been quite disciplined with it. It's more of a personal challenge for myself. I'm hoping to continue for much longer. It has been a great time that I've had without it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody.